YouTube, what's up? Back again for another daily fishing video here on Andrew Upshaw Fishing. Guys, today we're going to answer the question, what am I fishing in 2024? You know, there's a bunch of different tournament trails out there, and quite honestly, there was a lot of really hard decisions to make, and we're going to break that down here in just a minute. But hey, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure y'all do that. There's a little square in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. It's a subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, then click that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. So guys, let's break this down. You know, there's a bunch of different trails. There's NPFL, there's MLF Invitationals, Toyota Series, Bassmaster Opens, and a bunch of good team trails as well. So making that decision this particular season was not the easiest. You know, I've had to take a lot of things into account. I've had to kind of look in the mirror a little bit on everything that I'm doing. You know, obviously I do a ton with Kane and youth football. I've gotten to where I like to spend a lot of time at home. I've really enjoyed spending time with my family, and that's a big deal to me right now. And spending time with Kane and helping him develop as a person, as an athlete, as a student has been a really big deal for me. And I swear, there's days that I would just give it all up just to spend every day with him. And I'm not gonna lie, that day might be coming sooner than later, but it's not today. With that said, you know, I had to kind of look at other stuff. I had to look at Let's Fish TV. You know, this is a TV show that I bought last year, and we just finished up the season, I think it was like last week or week before last. And it was a fantastic season, one of the best years that I have ever had working on literally anything. I had so much fun traveling all across the country, fishing, running the camera, doing all kinds of different stuff. And just kind of the direction my brand is going, you know. I tend, you know, over the last year, 2 years, you know, if tournaments used to be here and my brand YouTube TV show was here, it's starting to do this more. You know, the TV show's it's going higher than the tournament priority. And I would say even it goes TV show, family, you know, trying to make sure everything's settled here, and then the tournament side of things. You know, I honestly, when it comes to tournament fishing, it's not that I don't care and don't love it and all that stuff. I just have so many stokes in the fire right now, and there's only so much I can give in every direction. So when it comes to the tournament scene, you know, looking at all the different tournament trails that are offered right now and the ones that I can get into, I can get in the MLF Invitationals. I mean, quite honestly, guys, they're sending invites to people who fished one Toyota Series as a co-angler this year. So obviously that schedule is open. I can get in if I wanted to. The other one I could get into could have gotten into was the NPFL, and then the Bassmaster Opens. I had priority entry there because of my finishes this season. With that said, I did pick the Bassmaster Opens for 2024. That was the individual trail that I picked. And not for any other reason than it just kind of fit my schedule better. The schedule that Bassmaster released, I literally laid down the NPFL schedule, the Open schedule, and the Invitational schedule, and mapped it all out. The only thing that I really liked about the Invitationals was they didn't bleed into the fall very much, and I like that. The MLF Invitationals this year, I have a really bad feeling that they're probably not going to fill up, and they're not going to get very many anglers in there. You're seeing kind of a desperation move from MLF right now, inviting people that quite honestly didn't earn it or deserve it. And I'm being one of them. I mean, I hadn't earned or deserved to be there. I didn't qualify in like you would the Elite Series or the BPT or something like that. And the same for the NPFL. I'll be honest, guys. I'm a huge fan of NPFL. I love the fact that they're trying to be different and they're doing their own thing. But that schedule is atrocious. Maybe one of the worst schedules I've seen in a long time. I understand, you know, they're trying to balance it out and go to different fisheries and things like that, but it just wasn't appealing to me. And I'm not talking bad about NPFL, so I don't want to get destroyed in the comments. I have nothing but respect for those guys, but from my standpoint as an angler and trying to decide where I'm going to go, it just didn't make sense for me. I didn't like how spread out it was. And I didn't like the fact that they didn't really have any spawn tournaments whatsoever. I mean, I love fishing spawn tournaments. One of my favorite things to do. pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn. Like, I love those type of events. I mean, I cut my teeth on those type of events. And if we don't have those, then, like, any advantage or any situation where I even felt like I had an advantage is kind of out the window for me. Personally, like, I just don't. It didn't really blend well with what I was looking for. The Opens, however, I am a fish the Opens. I think the schedule, it actually maps out fairly well. Okeechobee, I'm not the biggest fan of. It's probably my least favorite place in Florida, if I'm being honest. But Ouachita being next, I love Ouachita. It's one of my favorite places. So, you take the good with the bad. No, they're not going to Texas this year, and that's kind of unfortunate. But what that means is they're going to go to Texas next year because they can't not go to Texas 2 years in a row. But you got like St. Clair on that list. You got the Mississippi River. You got Santee Cooper on that list. You got Hartwell on that list. You've got some really good fisheries that I think are going to show out this particular season. And, honestly, when it comes to trying to pick trails, like, man, at this point, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they're all kind of losing deals right now. As far as these go, I mean, the money's gotten a little bit better on the Opens. Obviously, right now in PFL, you're fishing for $100,000 on first, but the rest of the payout is really hard to justify. And the Invitationals, they cut their first place from 100 to 80. And quite honestly, from the sounds of it, the payout's really not that good down the line either. So I just wasn't, those two weren't where I really wanted to stake my claim. The Opens, I'm comfortable now. I've kind of gotten a little more comfortable over time, so it's going to work out. But that's not the only thing I'm going to fish. And I haven't signed up for anything else, but I have a few things in the works. I am looking at some team trails this year. Castledine has really gotten me hooked on really wanting to explore the team side of things. And I'm not going to be fishing with him, though. That's the big kicker. I mean, he won like 3 Angler of the Years this year, or 4 Angler of the Years, whatever it was. And quite a few of them with Russell Cecil, his team partner. And Russell is a good friend of mine as well, and I love Russell to death. And I'm glad to see him and Todd back together because that is such a dominant duo when it comes to the team side of things. But I'll be honest, I don't have a team partner. I actually reached out to a couple buddies of mine, one in Arkansas, and we're kind of kicking it around right now, fishing the Brandon Belt Series. And so I'm excited about that. The Brandon Belt Series this year is honestly, when you look at payback and how their payout structure is probably one of the most profitable team series that you can fish, with all the side pot money and everything else that goes into it. I mean, Brandon Belt's invested a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy into this industry, and anytime somebody does something like that, you want to support him because he's putting it out there to try to make it better for us. So I'm going to do my best to try to fish at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of the events this year. I think, based off of how my schedule lines out, it should be doable. But I don't know. I mean, I know I'm going to miss their $100,000 tournament on Rayburn. It's literally right on top of another event, so it's just nothing I can do about that. But otherwise, I think I can basically show up and fish a couple of them, and that's all you really need to do to make the championship. But, I mean, overall, guys, when it comes to tournament fishing at this point, I love to tournament fish. I love to compete. I don't care if it's in flag football, basketball, baseball, fishing, or Mario Kart with my son. Like, I just enjoy competition, and I have to fish some type of tournament series. Like, that's a necessity for me. But for me, it's this off season has been more about spending time with my family, really breaking down what's a priority, what's not a priority, what's a fantasy and compared to something that's reality. And I think it's really important that we all do that from time to time, is take that step back and really analyze what's going on in our career, our lives, and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of things on Facebook lately about negativity in the fishing industry, and don't get me wrong, we could be negative about literally anything and everything that goes on in our daily lives, from the fishing industry to our family to our job to the president, whatever it may be. We can be negative about everything, but the reality is I refuse to live in that negative space. I can't afford to live in that negative space. I've got too much stuff going on. So I'm going to be as positive as I possibly can be. I'm always going to try to have a glass half full outlook on just about everything that I look at. And even in these tournament series, I still looked at MLF Invitationals, even though I know they don't like me. I know they don't like me, and that's okay. I mean, they don't have to like me. And NPFL, I still look at it glass half full. Even though I really didn't like the schedule, I still really like the people. So I still gave them the chance, just like the Opens. The thing about the Opens right now is I feel like they really are listening to the anglers. I feel like they're adjusting things the best they can. We're seeing a change in payout. We're seeing a change in structure. We're seeing a change in off limits. We're seeing these things because they're listening to us, not just because they're saying, oh, we have this magical idea of let's change this or let's change that. No, they're getting feedback from anglers and actually making changes. And that's what we've been asking for forever. It's just to be heard. Not that they should listen to every single thing we say. Just be heard and make changes when they are sensible and logical changes that aren't going to hurt anybody and benefit the angler. So I will always be a proponent of that. You can love me, you hate me. You can watch my stuff, you can don't watch my stuff. I don't really give a crap. But I'm going to tell you this. I support the anglers. I'm going to support the tournament organizations. I don't care who they are. I want to see everybody succeed, and I want to see you guys succeed. So if you have any questions, just comment them below. I'd love to answer your questions. I do my best to answer any and all comments that I get on this channel. Sometimes I slip up, guys. I'm one person. Sometimes I'm going to miss your comment, and I apologize. If you get a chance, comment below. I'd love to answer your questions. I love all the support and everything I get from you guys. Y'all are the best. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.